start my interview with you, we had good news for the metalcore lovers. The band released the debut album called Doom State in June 7th. And by the way, let me tell you, congratulations. This is a good album. I want to know, my friend, what reaction had you from the people and critics around the world about this debut, especially in all the formats, the physical and digital formats?
So Doomsday, basically, we wrote during, COVID. As you know, that was kind of a crazy time. We were actually forced to record remotely, which luckily we were able to do that. Technology's come a long way, and we were able to basically have interfaces at our own houses, and we could link up through Zoom, and there was an app created called the Listen To app, and we were able to send our signals directly into our producer's gear seamlessly. So the whole record basically was recorded remote. And that's probably one of the most significant things about the record. And one of the things, we had a lot of time to write this. So basically, through that time, we were just recording, everything that we could, putting ideas together and building these songs. It's been a really cohesive effort across the board for all the band members. Basically, everyone had a amazing helping hand in making this happen. It's the first time all four members had contributed to our writing. And we believe that is why Doom State has the sound and carries the way it does. And I appreciate talking about it because it means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to the other members. Have you had a chance to check it out?
Yes, I had the chance to listen to the album.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool. So basically, it is on all digital platforms. Doom State is. There's a couple new music videos on YouTube as well. For Face to Face, that's the newest one that we released. And then we also have a music video for Home on YouTube. Also on YouTube, the whole album is streaming as well. So.
About the record process, Steve, how do you feel about recording this album, or one album especially for the band? Were the ideas was the same from the demos, or were changes at last minute to improve the songs and to appear currently in this Doom State?
Yeah, so basically we do a lot of pre-production. The guitar player and I mainly sing for the band, but I'm very involved in the writing process as well. I play guitar, I just don't play live, because I try to focus all of my attention to singing and interacting with the crowd. That's actually my favorite part. And I've done both, being in different bands and things like that. Singing is definitely where my heart is with that. The album, basically we had a lot of ideas down, and most of them stayed the way they were. There was some small tweaks from our producer to do things, but basically, all the vocals I wrote stuck on this one, which was awesome. Going through COVID, it brought lots of challenges for everybody. There were a lot of emotions going on during that time. I'm a dad of 4 kids, so I'm super busy, you know what I mean? And I also run a business. And so basically there were a lot of emotions going on during this. And I really feel like it played a big part in why everything was so successful vocally for me, and the lyrics and everything and how they transpire to our listeners and things like that. And watching Doom State grow is definitely been really special for me. But yeah, the recording process basically, like I said, it was all remote, and it did arise some challenges, doing something remote. When you're recording in the studio for so many years and you know, you get that vibe of the studio, and you know, that's a really special thing too. So I will say, you know, we did miss out on that part, but I think the emotional end of it was probably at its highest peak, you know, being the time that we had recorded this record. So yeah, so I still think it's as strong as it could ever be. The only thing I miss is the stuff that you get from the studio, you know, all being in the same room, having a good time, you know what I mean? Just kind of laughing with your brothers, you know, doing what you love. And I think that part's really special, you know. So when we write again, obviously we'll be back in the studio, you know, like normal. So definitely looking forward to that, but definitely appreciate what Doom State became. So
it's very good to know about the nice experience that the band experienced living it in the record process, by the way, Steve. Let me tell you, this debut album have strong points. Despite the album, all the album is good to start to finish. Like example, Face to Face, Never Say Never, Revive, Intimidation, Led to Death, Astronaut, and Cambium. All the strong points on this album, and the people will enjoy this from start to finish. What experience have you in working, and of course the rest of the band, with Josh Carrack in the studio?
So, well, you know, let's start with Left for Dead for me, if that's okay. Left for Dead basically is a song that I wrote. I actually play guitar on that song. You know, I wrote the guitars for it and the vocals, and I laid those down in the studio. That was a really special experience for me, you know, and that song means a lot to me. So it's really cool that that was able to happen during that time. The rest, though, was all recorded guitar-wise from my guitar player, you know, my bass player, he did, you know. So basically, after that, that song that, you know, basically I was able to write the guitar and vocals for, basically after that, all the other songs were written together. You know what I mean? So basically, I had Left for Dead written in pre-production, and the whole band learned it. And you know, my guitar player Jesse, he is very good at transposing what I write. There's been a couple songs in our earlier music that I had also written, and he plays the song seamlessly, and I'm really grateful for that, and having a team that's willing to allow all these forces. And I think it's really special to have these types of my influence and Jesse's influence mixed into the music the way it is, of guitar playing and stuff like that, because I think sometimes music can get a little saturated or sound a lot alike, and people play guitar differently. You know, some people downpick every single riff they play, you know what I mean? And when you're downpicking and uppicking at the same time, basically it can sound totally different. So I play a lot of my stuff downpick. I just taught myself how to play guitar growing up. And basically that's how I learned how to play guitar, and I like heavy riffs. The heavier the better for me. I'm really into writing heavy riffs, and so I've noticed that if you're down picking a riff, it usually sounds heavier to me. So yeah, so that's, you know, that's basically it for that. But every other song that we had written basically was just written as a band together. Everybody had their spot. It would be like, oh, that sounds great. Now let's move to this, and let's move to this. Oh, and we built these songs, you know, together through pre-production, you know. So we basically had them all together. The whole record was basically done. There was none that was written basically on the spot. We had everything done at pre-pro from our houses. We would pass it around to each other, add our parts, and then we again recorded it all remote, which means that basically for me, I was awake till 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and you know, my wife spent a lot of time with me in my studio making it soundproof so I wouldn't wake up the kids and stuff like that while I was doing my thing at all hours of the night to create Doom State. So, and I know a lot of my other bandmates did the same thing, you know, made the sacrifices where we're recording in our homes basically super late at night, you know, in the evenings after work, after putting the kids to bed, you know what I mean? So, but what's so special though, like you said, is the album has a lot of driving things and sounds very cohesive together, and I think that is super special for the way that it came out, you know. So I appreciate you recognizing that, because I truly feel the same way.
It's very interesting about the point that that you talks about Left 4 Dead, the guitar parts. I want to know what's easy, what's difficult for you playing the guitar, or are you comfortable? Okay, one track, only one track, play the guitar. Perhaps you consider it's not comfortable playing the guitar and singing at the same time.
So there has been some talk about that. So playing guitar and singing at the same time, it's something that I could push myself for. I have thought really hard about it. You know, I bought a brand new 8-string guitar. And yeah, we were thinking about having me do Left 4 Dead live. But at this current time, it sounds so good as a 4-piece of Jesse playing guitar and Dave on bass and Kyle drumming and me singing, and most of our music is like that, right? So, and it brings such a force to our show, and it's so dialed in that I never really want to take away from that experience. And as I do think it would be good, it's just hard for me to change something that isn't broken, if you know what I mean. And as we have talked about it, and I've thought really strongly about it, I just want to make sure that I can interact with the crowd the same way that I do with a mic in my hand. And that to me is really special. I enjoy going out into the crowd, you know, getting people pumped up, doing chants, you know what I mean, getting everybody to raise their hands. Anything that I can do to get people engaged into our show is really special for me, and I feel like if I had an instrument on me, that might take away from that. And it's not to say that it would or it would not, but through a lot of careful thought, I feel like at this current time that I'm not going to play guitar on that. I actually wrote the intro riff to Astronaut. So the da-na-na, that part I wrote that in the beginning, and then my guitar player grabbed the whole thing and took off with it, and he did a phenomenal job. So, you know, some little things like that, you know, very small stuff, you know, if I can add, I'll certainly do that. You know, I've been writing a ton lately for the new record. There's a lot of cool stuff out there that's available. So, but again, you know, I'm not playing the guitar. So if it's something that my guitar player isn't feeling, or something that could be, you know, just not his style, you know, I wouldn't be upset if it didn't work out. You know what I mean? Because my goal is to sing well, to be able to growl and sing seamlessly, because I do both, you know what I mean? So I need to be able to go from one aggressive vocal into a very nice clean, and straight into a sing scream or anything like that. And to me, that's what's most important for me, you know what I mean?
Thank you very much for this interesting answer, Steve. I know that Jesse make a great work in the guitars and backing vocals, of course.
Yeah.
Cards, drums, and they and bass. All the people playing well their parts in all this album. For the people who want to know about in this interview, Steve, for the people who wants to know, for first time or listen for first time the band, what themes or what topics do you express in your songs? I want to know perhaps personal experience or things that affect the world. Perhaps the title of the album could be interpreted in several ideas or have many interpretations for the people.
Absolutely. That's a great question. Whenever I'm writing music, my number one thing is that in the verses, typically, I want to explain something that could be a really hard time. You know, in life, we just go through so many different ups and downs and struggles, you know, from losing jobs to literally dealing with COVID, a pandemic, something that, you know, I never thought I would see in my life ever. And here we are being faced with it. You know what I mean? So I really try to bring out these life experiences, but the number one thing that I want to portray, and usually it's through the chorus, is that you can rise above that, that you can beat this, you know, no matter what you challenge in your life, you can definitely rise above it. And it's really a mental game. And, you know, some people deal with it better than others, but, you know, at the end, the most important part is that you get through it, and that you're there for your friends that are also going through a hard time and whatever that may be. So typically that's always the way that I've written, you know, because I want to inspire people, you know, to push themselves through. I want to inspire the younger generation, you know, that, yeah, times are going to be tough, but you got to rise above it. You know, there is strength within the storm. Boom, perfect example, you know, stuff like that. You know, so basically, you have to be able to rise above it all, you know. Some of our older music, like Strength in Numbers, stuff like that, same thing, you know. We're just trying to build a way to help people and spread love and just, you know, really just be there for our people. Especially at a lot of shows, you know, we usually give away a skateboard signed by all the bands that night for suicide awareness. We're really big into that. Really just trying to help people. So basically, there'll be a poster at our show, has the suicide hotline on it, basically goes through how you can get help. And people raffle into tickets. So they pay for a raffle ticket to get the skateboard, right? At the end of the show, we give it away, and we donate all that money to suicide awareness. So it could be $500, it could be $1,000. We've given away guitars. We do whatever we can to be there for the people. You know, that's our ultimate goal. We just want people to know that they're not alone. You know what I mean? Especially through our music. Like I said, going through a hard time, going through a bad breakup, losing a parent, whatever it may be. Those things are all really hard to deal with in life, and everybody deals with them. You know what I mean? So, and some people, you know, they can't handle it. And so it's nice to know there's help out there for people, but I want to also be a platform for those people, to be able to reach out, you know. And these shows actually bring a lot of love. Something that I would compare it to, and this isn't really apples to apples, but do you know the band Architects?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So the band Architects, they lost a member of their band to cancer. Unfortunate too. Incredible musician. And I saw them play at a venue here in Baltimore recently, basically after that. And there was a thing in the room that was just absolutely unstoppable, right? So that feeling in the room was something that I wanted to have without something so devastating happen. And that was basically love, unity. The way it was like you could drop a pin in there and it was just like caught by love. It just would rise it right back up. It was really incredible. Something that I just was like, how can we bring this type of love to our show? And so basically, we gave it a whirl, and it lit like a wildfire. I mean, the promoters around here, they had never seen anything like it. And, you know, it makes me feel really special. As a dad of 4 kids and a family, And we all have families, you know, we all have big families, the band members do, you know. When I was younger, music was a bit different before you have family and stuff like that. And doing all these things has really given a lot of purpose to this band, and a big reason for doing this and continuing on to spread our music. Because I think purpose, you have to feel the purpose of what you're doing, to believe in it and to love it, and to wake up every day just breathing that type of life. So, you know, that's what we do. So thank you for the question.
Yes, it's a nice point that you mentioned in this answer, Steve, about how the music, especially for a band like from a nightmare, help for another people, for dealing the troubles, supporting in hard times. It's very good. It's a nice initiative that you made this kind of ideas for help another people. In a few words, the music unites the people.
Exactly. Yes, that is our ultimate goal, and to just be there with everybody, having a great time, raging the music that we all love. I mean, I can't think of a better way.
It's very good that you influences the influences of the band, Kevin Engage, Architects, Seven Dust, Lamb of God, Gojira, and I had the feeling that also the song appears a bit of influence for a great band like example Whitechapel in the lyrics. In the song, it's very strong, it's very tense.
Yeah, I saw Gojira and I was like, that's the heaviest band I ever seen live. I mean, they're just so incredible. I mean, they're tight, they're amazing. You know, I'm a really big Killswitch Engage fan. I always have been. I have them tattooed on my arm here, and actually, another band in our area called Alika, super awesome band. But they also, you know, their singer, he does tattooing and stuff. So he's about to finish my Killswitch Engage tattoo. So I'm really excited about that. We're going to do the lion with the snakes and all that from that Killswitch album. So definitely looking forward to getting that done. But yeah, that's my favorite band. So
we know that the members of the band, the entire band of course, come for another projects that decide to join forces in form for a nightmare. As you know, these are projects that are born, that seek in make luck, or make career, record albums, or make tours. Perhaps the things don't get far. In your point of view, my friend, do you consider that the music is seen in Baltimore has not been valued, and this is for main reason that interesting bands like this are formed? What do you think about it?
So yes, we all came from different projects. Me and the bass player played in a band called Epic Harvest. Times were so different back then. It's very strange because and the guitar player and the drummer came from another band as well that had, you know, diminished, and you know, both bands did great things in the scene, and I'm proud of both of them. And but I will say, you know, it was nothing to get 500 heads in a room back then. You know, it was super easy. Basically, the music scene in Baltimore was impeccable. I can imagine, you know, back and think, wow, I can't believe I'm standing in front of all these people. And during that time, I played guitar back then. I wasn't a vocalist back then. I did some backing vocals, but after that band, I decided that my true love and passion was to do vocals. So the scene back then was just wild, you know. And then having it come back with this band, it did extremely well. You know, we do really well. We have a lot of really great fans and family and friends, you know, that support From a Nightmare through and through. You know, I still get the same feeling when I'm looking out there and seeing all the people. The same as when I did back then. The difference was basically before COVID, it felt similar to old times. Things were really weird during shows. So weird that, you know, we basically were like, you know, we're going to wait a little bit. We need to wait a little bit because, you know, we don't want to make people uncomfortable, right? Like, you have to come out to this show, you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean you're afraid of COVID? Like, we respect people, you know, and all people. We love people, you know, so when we're out there, we want to make sure that if somebody wants to see us, that they don't have to, like, sit there at their house with their masks on and feeling bad that they can't come out and see us. So we took a time, you know, to get back to normal. Things are back to normal, you know, which I'm very grateful for. And we have a show coming up July 13th for our CD release. And the response has been incredible. It's going to be an absolutely amazing show. It feels even close to the old times that I was talking about. It really feels engaged. The attention is there. The people are pumped. I'm getting messages, man. The show's right around the corner. We can't wait to see you. Stuff like that. So the Baltimore scene is definitely grown incredibly. I will say, you know, COVID did hit. It hit everybody. Everybody had these similar issues. And now it just feels really special. It feels like the right time. It feels like it's our time. So I will say that the Baltimore scene is definitely making a huge comeback. You know, I've been going to a lot of shows and seeing bands and everybody and saying, hey, you know, meeting these bands that I hadn't seen before that I've been wanting to see. And stuff like that, just, you know, getting out there in the scene and meeting new people and stuff like that. And it feels good to do that and see these shows bringing a lot of people out, you know what I mean? So it's definitely, the Baltimore scene has definitely made a huge comeback, and I'm looking forward to our next show.
In a few words, the Baltimore scene is back to the business.
Absolutely. It is, yeah. And I mean, I want people to understand that, you know, basically everything took a hit. Bands dropped. Like bands broke up because of COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to think about some of these people. This is their full-time job, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, they wake up every day to do this. And as we all, as a band, we want to do this so bad. You know, it's all in our hearts. But we also have full-time jobs. Every single person in the band, you know, either owns their own business, is an HVAC, you know, is an insurance broker, or is, you know, a lighting technician and stuff like that. And me personally, I'm a home improvement contractor. So we all work and have, you know, a lifestyle that way. And so it is a blessing and a curse because during, you know, COVID, we didn't have to stop doing what we love because it was taken away from us. Basically, we were able to wait it out, continue to record music, and do this thing. So I feel super fortunate for that and very grateful. But yes, if I could wake up every single day and, you know, sing our music to our fans, spread love and awareness, you know, that would be super awesome. You know, I would not be upset at all about that.
Yes, very awesome. Thank you very much. What is your point of view? I don't know if the people comments in your social medias, YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, or perhaps personal comments in a live shows. The people we say is From a Nightmare a kind of supergroup? What do you think about this label that the people from other bands join together, make forces, conquer the world?
I absolutely love this question. I think, you know, my number one thing is that as a community, we can all build each other up. And I don't think that one force is stronger than another. I think that having many forces together is the strongest force that you can have. So basically, I love my band. I love the people in my band. I love the support that we get from all of our families, you know, because that's a big thing, right? Every person's family supports what we do. That is the most important thing. That's what keeps this wheel turning, and it would not turn with all those people in our corner. So as I do think From a Nightmare is my favorite project I've ever been a part of. It's the most proud of music I've ever made in my life. And as I love the band, I would say that the people that are around helping keeping the dream alive is more important than we'll ever be.
Currently, the album Doomsday was released independently. What do you think for you as a part of a band, of course? Is a better option for the band in work without a label, or is another better option work with a label and support the music, spread the music around the world?
I think we would definitely have to consider a label later at this point. You know, like, basically, we would like to stay independent as long as we possibly can. It would have to take basically a really amazing, life-changing deal in order to do that, because you know, staying independent right now gives us a lot of freedom as far as, you know, what is expected of us. What are we able to do, and what do we have to do? Do we have to drop our hat like this and hit the road? Because, you know what I'm saying, we're basically right now, we control our own destiny. And, you know, we'd like to do that for as long as that's possible. Not to say that if the right deal were on the table, we wouldn't take it. Basically right now, we just, we've been doing this independent for a long time. You know, being in the music industry for a long time really opens your eyes to a lot of things, and we're allowed to control a lot of things on our end versus having somebody control most of it for us. And sometimes I feel like that could bring a lot of animosity into the band and might create, you know, some type of break up or lose a member. And honestly, I love doing this with the guys that we do this with. So basically, right now, we'll just stay independent. But again, if something were to arise that made sense and that we're all in agreement to, you know, it's not out of the question.
It's very interesting that you and the rest of the band work in this way. Currently, you know, many people, many bands around the world, record labels, producers, musicians, use this kind of technology, the artificial intelligence. About this kind of technologies, Steve, for you as musician, is good or is bad about the use or abuse the artificial intelligence in the recording industry around the world? What is your point of view? Is good or bad?
So I do think it would be neat sometime to go and record, you know, somewhere else. But I also have, you know, my producer, our producer, is my best friend, and the whole, you know what I mean? He's always looked out for our best interest. And you know, he's the kind of friend that you really need, because he's not afraid to tell you, you know, and be very, very straightforward with you. And he only wants to see us win. As I would love to work with somebody else just to see like what the experience would be, it's also been such an enjoyable experience doing it the way that we've done it, that I would definitely worry what it would do, and how much it would change our sound. You know, our sound is created by 4 people who are musicians basically our whole lives, in our adulthood, and we all worked really hard to get to this level and to have the respect amongst each other that we have. And You know, when you start getting into people wanting to kind of put their hands into your sound and really what sells and this and that, and you know, we're able to basically do that on our own, right? So we can see like which one of our songs is like being listened to the most, and we're like, oh cool, you know, should we maybe start to write some of our songs maybe geared a little bit more this direction? But it's not to say that we will, because you know, our sound is exactly what you hear. This is what you hear when you listen to From a Nightmare. It really doesn't have a lot of hands in it, a lot of opinions in it. It basically is us writing music, and what you hear is what you get. And you know, I think that's really special for us, you know, because I'm proud of the way it sounds. And you know, again, once you get into having other people's hands in your music, it could really change it. And I don't want to lose my love and my passion for the way things go with our band, our sound, you know, and just everybody feeling like their part was good enough, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, as a band, if you're like, you know, maybe we should play it a little bit like this or something like that, that's different. When somebody's like, you know, somebody outside of the band, somebody you've never met, you know what I mean? You don't know that well, and they're like, you know, you probably shouldn't play it that way. You should do this. It almost could be taken, you know, maybe a little bit offensive. You know what I'm saying? So it's, again, it's really about having the right people in your corner and feeling comfortable with what you're doing, so that when you're done, you're just proud of it, you know? And how nervous are you going to be in the studio against people that really don't know you, you know? So basically my family records our band, and there's just a respect level there. There's an appreciation and a love there that I don't think we could ever capture anywhere else. But if that was a label's requirement, if we ever decided to do that, then, you know, that would have to be a discussion on how that would work out.
It's very good to know that you and the rest of the guys had the determination in make music in their natural way. You know, intelligence, the passion, make music together. I don't,
Yep.
I don't see currently the technologies make songs. Okay, for words, the lyrics, the song, thrash metal, death metal, power metal, and then in 5 minutes, the technology make a song. I had the feeling, in my personal opinion, it's a kind of dependency that the people make about this, the artificial intelligence, heartless music, soulless music, in my point of view.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, we're not really trying to you know, sort of jump into a mold and have, you know, because I'll be honest, like a lot of bands nowadays sound really similar. And that part gets a little washed out for me, you know. I just, you know, when I started doing this, I wanted to do everything that I could to have our very own sound, that when somebody hears From a Nightmare on the radio, they think none other than that's From a Nightmare. And that to me is just very, very special. You know, I can't tell you how many bands you could say, wow, was that this band or this band, and then you look and it's not either of those bands. It's just somebody else, you know. And sometimes, you know, that to me, it kind of scares me. You know, I always want to stay sort of in the From a Nightmare lane. I like doing our thing. And if that doesn't make everybody happy, well, that's okay, because you're never going to make every single person happy, you know. As we want to make a difference in everyone's life and let them know that we're doing this for a reason and purpose, I also, I do not want to change the way that we sound for anybody, basically.
The people currently support the band. You release in many formats, in CD, in digital, in Spotify, all the streaming platforms. Bandcamp, suppose me, do currently have Bandcamp?
Yeah, so we did already have Bandcamp. From the release of our excuse me, from the release of our very first EP. The very first 3 songs were written by me and the guitar player, and then we brought in our friends that were in members of our old bands to, you know, create the band that we have now. It's the original 4 from when we started all the way back then. So, so basically, you know, it's the original 4, and yeah, we had Bandcamp back then because we were distributing those songs. You know, we basically did 2 EPs in the beginning to just get some traction, just, you know, see what the people were looking for and stuff like that. And as the second EP was basically more cohesive, more members were starting to contribute, it's really Doom State basically that brought everybody together as a cohesive unit. So, but yeah, that's why we had Bandcamp in the past, because, you know, we did release other music, but we decided that Doom State was enough to send everywhere. We want everyone to hear Doom State.
What do you think, perhaps in the future, is a kind of idea to throw to you and the rest of the guys? Currently, we know the physical format are stronger. I don't have nothing against to the people that don't download music for the phone, download music for the computer, or listen music for the cloud,
Right.
Other stuff. I prefer to listen all the music in the physical format, the CDs. I don't know, perhaps in the future, can you release the music in this
Wait,
kind of format?
are you bringing a dinosaur on the Zoom? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is so cool, man. I mean, I haven't seen one of those since I was a kid, so I appreciate you breaking those out. But you know what? I see a lot of people doing the cassettes. Cassettes have come back. Basically, bands are making and selling, or not making, but they're ordering cassettes with their band name on it, like the player. And you can buy from a Nightmare cassette player and their cassette. So I think that's super cool. I mean, I love that. I mean, that's how I started listening to music, you know. And honestly, the CD, like having the physical CD, it's just so special, you know. You open it up, you get to read all this stuff, you know, you learn a bit about the band. You feel a lot more connected to the band than just saying, oh, I'm going to check out this band, right? And you're in your car typically, right? You know what I mean? And you're driving down the road listening to the album. And I do appreciate that. But I also appreciate the people who are more collectors and have the personal touch of having the CD. So, yeah, having the Doom State CD is super awesome. And after this, we definitely need to get your information. I want to follow all your pages, and we're definitely mailing you out a CD because I want you to have a physical copy. Because seeing your cassette there, I know that you like that stuff. So
please check this out. Please check this out.
Wow,
this is my stereo.
That's neat.
Yes, it's a bigger hub cassette CD. Mini disc only needs a vinyl turntable. I have.
Oh yeah, there you go. So it would be like my highest honor to be able to make vinyls of Doom State. So we have talked about it. So basically, the drive for it would have to be high enough that we do that. But it has definitely been in talks with us, you know what I mean, to make vinyls, because I would love to listen to Doom State on vinyl. You know what I mean? Like, how cool would that be?
Would be cool that you release the music in vinyl, perhaps in the future. I don't know. It's a kind of idea, nice idea.
Yes, absolutely. We actually just got new merch.
What do you think? Will currently many bands for make this special edition for vinyls use, like example, Kickstarter, crowdfunding, or some campaigns that the people who wants to get all the stuff in vinyl is an option. What do you think about it? That from a Nightmare made a kind of campaign for I don't know, 15 vinyls or 100 vinyls, limited edition from this new album?
Well, I think that would be an amazing thing to try, you know, and we're always willing to try anything. And I think that that would be really special to do. I do know that vinyl orders were really tough when we originally talked about doing this, and it was really far off as far as like how long it would take to get them, and the price and things like that. So I do think that some of that stuff has been able to be made possible, that From a Nightmare could do a vinyl. And of course, having the people's help would be, oh man, it would just mean the world to us to be able to do that. So it's not something that we've really talked about, and I do think it's probably something that we should consider, you know, but it's also something that we've done on our own, you know what I mean, for so long that sometimes it could be really hard. And you know, we're all really, really humble people, and so it's always hard to ask for help, you know. And so, and not that there's anything wrong with asking for help, it's just, you know, it's hard, it's really hard. So but I think that it would work, and I do believe that it does help a lot of people, and I do think that, you know, having a vinyl From a Nightmare would be basically life-changing, you know what I mean, because having a piece of artwork like that, right, to be able to give to somebody and sell, and you know, it's your life's hard work, you know what I'm saying. So just having the CD again is really special, you know, and the people who have gotten, you know, early CDs and stuff like that, are super grateful. You know, basically we've opened up like 15 and signed them, you know what I mean, because people have already been like, we need signed copies, so we're trying to be a little you know, ready, you know, when we get to the show, that we can give people signed copies and stuff like that. So it's really special. And again, I do love the personal touch of a CD, of a cassette, of, you know, a record, you know, a vinyl record. I think that all those things are really special to the right people, but a lot of people are super busy in this world, right? I mean, it is like grind. I mean, we are just basically just stretching ourselves as wide as we can go every day. So I think it's really special that we do have the digital platform for somebody who might not have the time or, you know, the lifestyle to be able to have a CD player, to have, you know what I'm saying? So most people can get a phone, right? So basically people who might be less fortunate or whatever that may be, might not have a CD player, might not have a vinyl player, but they can still reach our music. And I think that that's really special, you know. It kind of makes it so that everybody can get a taste of From a Nightmare no matter what. And that's basically something that I have to look at and be grateful for too. As much as I'd love everybody to just take a CD and be able to have the means to use it, I think it's brilliant that we're able to find From a Nightmare no matter where you look, and that means a lot.
Okay, my dear friend, what is next for the band currently now with the album is now in the streets? I don't know, more promotion or with another music video, or currently have tours and news in your social medias that the people are expecting to recite the band in any city or near in your city for enjoy a nice concert for you?
Yeah, so basically what we're doing right now is, well, mainly right now we're preparing for our CD release show. That's been a huge one, just automating the set, making sure we're tight. We practice every week, and this show is basically the takeoff for us, that we're all so excited for. But I will say, you know, basically we are working on shooting another music video, getting a couple lyric videos together. We're working on doing some playthrough videos, which are turning out really good. We're all super excited about that. Just basically creating content because, excuse me, we all live in a world of content, right? So if you're not creating content, you could basically start to go stale. So what we're trying to do is just keep the listeners engaged and let them know that basically, you know, we're trying to make as much content as we can to keep, you know, people happy and also keep people interested, you know, and that, you know, we're not just going to fade away or something like that. But I will say, you know, we're also really hard into the recording process. You know, we try to record whenever we can. It could be 10 o'clock at night and a riff will come to my head and I'll jump out of bed and my wife is like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I'm writing this guitar riff down because I'll forget it tomorrow. So basically we're doing everything we can to create and have new material and things like that. So the other goals are to continue to, you know, push the band, to promote it, to basically play shows where we have the most demand, where we have the most listeners and things like that. So we are definitely working hard on getting a booking agent and starting to move forward with taking on more shows, doing some small tours, getting our feet wet with things like that. Again, we do have families and stuff like that, and we try to respect every band member in that case, but we are looking forward to doing some, you know, 7-day runs, you know, just starting to expand our fan base and, you know, get Doom State in as many hands and ears as we possibly can, live and digital. So, so basically, yeah, that's where we're at right now. Just pushing really hard to also maybe release a single, you know, and have something new for some people to listen to.
What message do you want to send for all the people that enjoyed this interview? And again, thank you so much for your time here in your home. And of course, also thank you very much for my friend Davide for providing this interesting band in my map. And you deserve the best, and the rest of the guys, with this awesome album. We're looking forward to talk again in the future and give continuity the nice history, the interesting history that a band from a nightmare make with good music in the sonic radar around the world. You deserve the best again with this debut album.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you so much for your time. It's been such a pleasure meeting you. And again, hopefully I get to travel to where you are someday and get to shake your hand and meet you, and you know what I'm saying, and have good conversation again, because I do appreciate people, you know, who are able to do what you're doing for the music scene and for people who are trying to grow. And it just shows a lot, you know, there's a lot of character I can see, and I can tell that we would get along really good. So I really appreciate all of this and appreciate what you do. And I really look forward to seeing, you know, and following you, and as you continue to grow on your journey as well.